I am Rajitha, Assistant Professor, Department of History, Sri Narayana College, Kollam. Let us have a discuss on the topic Sufism. What is Sufism? We know it's a major ideology that developed in India in the Middle Ages. Actually, it have influenced all the religions of medieval times. Simply, we can define Sufism is a concept which is based on mysticism. In other sense, we can say that it's an ideology or school of practice that is properly focusing or stressing on spiritual search of God and devotion. We can add that the Sufism shuns or avoids materialism. That means it completely neglects the material life of human beings who is believed in this particular religion. That is what Sufism. So it is actually developed as a sect within the community of Islam. When we speak about this sect or ideology, it has developed even from the date of Prophet Muhammad himself. Now let us have a look on the derivation of the term Sufism, how this term emerged. This term actually emerged from the Arab word Sufi, which means one who wears woolen clothes. We know usually or normally the saints wear different colors of dress, just like that of yellow, white, and so on. Here, this term indicates a person who wears woolen clothes, which is closely related to asceticism. So, in that sense, we can assume that this term is derived from this particular word Sufi. There is another probability. Some of the historians say that this term is derived from another term Safa, which is also Arabic. That means purity. So when we assess the significance of this term Safa, we can understand that some of the saints of this particular concept tried to bring purity in the orthodox aspects of Islam religion. So we can understand that whether it is from Sufi, either it is from Safa, the term Sufism is derived. Other terms that is related to this concept is Wali, Darwish, etc. Now, let us have a look on how this Sufism emerged in India, how this Muslim community entered into Indian soil. So, we can understand that for the first time, the Muslims, especially the Arabs, had maintained trade contacts with the Indians from the 7th century onwards. They had maintained trade contacts with the people of India who were residing in the coastal areas. And the trade contacts between them going on, and they entered into the interior parts of India and began to propagate their religion. And after that, they had propagated the religion of Islam in a wide manner throughout India. And it is mainly with the invasion of Sindh by Muhammad bin Qasim on 712 onwards, that is the 8th century. By 10th and 11th century, the propagators of this community or religion understand themselves this should be purified, and that's why a sect originated within these communities, that can be termed as Sufism. So when we look into the main features, that is the main features of Sufism. Here, the predominance is given to God, love and devotion. The people have to abandon or give up a luxurious life who is believing in this particular sect. And some of the terms, just like that of peers, who are otherwise known as teachers or gurus, and murshids, that was also the name, another term for teachers. And these terms had achieved more significance in this concept. Then meditation, prayer are the other features of this particular concept. When we speak about this particular religion and or religious sect, there are two prominent aspects or orders. They are Bashara and Beshara. So what is the meaning of this Bashara? Bashara is a particular group which is believed on the Islamic ideas, which is a category of this Sufism. And when we speak about Beshara, that category usually tried to follow a liberal and moral life. Again, we can classify this Bashara category into different orders. These orders were otherwise known as what? Silsilas. Silsila is a particular group which is usually led by a peer or a Sufi saint who is usually lived in khanqahs or hospice of the Sufi saints. And there are prominently 12 orders in India. 4 orders are very important. Those are Chishti Silsila, Suhrawardi Silsila, Naqshbandi Silsila and Qadiriya Silsila. So when we speak about the significance of the Chishti Silsila, it's an order of this Sufi sect which was led by Khwaja Muinuddin Chishti, who was known as the Garib Nawaz, who had tried to propagate this particular sect over the areas of Lahore and Ajmer. And other prominent leaders or Sufi saints of this particular order was Nizamuddin Awliya, Nizamuddin Chirahi, Dahlavi and so on. And when we speak about their life, they had led a very simple life and they had given significance to love and devotion to God. Then they were also tried to propagate this particular sect through devotional songs. Those songs were known as Qawwalis. Next order is Suhrawardi Silsila. Who was the proponent of this order in the world? That is Shihabuddin Suhrawardi, who had actually started this order in India, that is Bahauddin Zakaria. So what is the significance of this order? When we speak about Suhrawardi, they had led a life of the combination of scholarship and mysticism. They were ready to play active part in politics too, unlike the Chishti order. The Chishti saints were not ready to participate in the politics. At the same time, the Suhrawardi saints were ready to participate very actively in politics. Next silsila is Naqshbandi Silsila. It was actually started by Khwaja Bahauddin Naqshbandi. They were known as silent Sufis because they had given significance to prayer and prayer congregations. They also led a very simple life and they had completely shunned about the material life of human beings. They had believed in the concept of love and beloved. That was a major concept of this particular order. The last order is Qadiriya. Qadiriya order was actually started by Sheikh Abdul Qadiriya and his sons, and they had mainly focused on the idea of unity of being and unity of existence. So these are the major silsilas that developed in India, and most probably these silsilas has been developed in the northern part of India. When we talk about the impact of this movement in India, it was the nutshell of the origin or the emergence of Bhakti movement in India. It has commonly influenced both the religions of Hinduism and Islam. So this is a very short information about the emergence of Sufism and its different silsilas. Thank you.